Welcome back into the two-time award-winning Around the Fire Pit podcast. As always, you've got the one, the only, the golden voice of the South, the human jukebox, Dave Adams, coming to you live and in living color all the way from the top of the state of Alabama. That's right, in Madison, Alabama, in the Around the Fire Pit podcast studios. And as always, I have brought along my friend from the Great White North. He's calling himself something new this week, so I'll let him introduce himself.
I'm just Matt now. Still.
But you were something else. You said you were going to call yourself something else, didn't you?
Well, we're trying to not swear tonight, so. Oh, it looks like we lost a follower. Oh, darn. We're at 201 followers on the Facebook page now.
Did we lose the one I'm thinking it was?
I have no idea. I doubt it.
You should check.
It's such a pain in the ass to. Speaking of bad words, oh no, I'll wait till some people get in here so I can kind of share everything from last week.
Hey, look, Skills. You don't give anything away yet.
Gizzo, come on, be better.
Be better. Skills. I mean, I don't have a calendar behind me for no good reason. I mean, it's the end of the show that we got to talk about that stuff.
I will say I did share with Michelle.
Oh, so she knows?
She knows because I know she's got a little bit of a hectic schedule.
I said calendar, didn't I?
Yep. Oh, that's me. That's me.
No, she said calendar, Dave. Calendar. I said schedule, I guess. That's you that says bad words. Let's see how this turns out.
The next one is everyone.
Oh, okay. But we do need people to understand what is going to happen tonight.
We got a lot. It's like almost would you consider it like a 3-segment show? Kind of.
I would consider it a good.
So Annie Beth, let's stop the presses because I know Annie Beth is not very tech savvy. So Beth, if you go to take your phone, I can't even do it because it's. And look at the comment and it'll say StreamYard /Facebook. Click that link and then follow what it tells you to do. There's going to be a blue bar so we can see that it's actually you. It just comes up on our board is you're a Facebook user.
And say we want to see Annie Beth.
Yeah.
And by the way, we got some important news to announce. So if you want to know what's happening, stick to the end of the show.
Stay for episode 3.
Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. And I promise you this. Well, I'll just go ahead and say we're announcing the cruise. We're announcing the cruise, but I will promise you this, Matt. Once we come back from this cruise and we give our update on how good the cruise was, we're not going to quit Around the Fire Pit.
No.
After this group cruise. Unlike some people who think the rate of the return on investment.
The return on investment on the podcast is going to be bonkers. Especially when we're going to try. We'll get. Come on, Phil. Be better. Be better.
Yeah.
So couple of things. We'll break down the show a little bit on how tonight's going to go. Yeah, Carrie, he is the worst at spoiling things. We're going to talk first. Dave's going to give us his experience of going to AEW last night with the little kids.
Which was awesome, by the way.
Our boy, Joe Giannetti, is going to be joining us around 9:15 once he gets out of training. We're going to talk about his upcoming fight. I really don't want to backtrack because we're not worried about what's happened in the past. We're looking forward. We're going to talk some shit. Yep, I said shit. And then we're going to break the news on the back end of the podcast. We got 16 people watching. I'm going to follow
17 now.
17. We're going to I'm going to mention this real quick. Sean did make a donation, $300 donation to Give Kids the World last week.
Good man.
And doing some digging around on their page. We're going to try to partner with them on doing a little thing they got going on. They do a thing called like coasters around the country where they partnered with some amusement parks and you ride. It's like a party at the amusement parks. Luckily they do, they have Canopy Lake Park, which is in Salem, New Hampshire, very close to myself and
question.
Ashley. What up?
So, do we get to ride roller coasters and make money
Yes.
for Give Kids the World?
Yep.
I guarantee you, Carrie Loney will be in. I will be in.
The good thing about it is I want to say there's only almost 20 different locations that they go through. The thing that sucks though is it's kind of different dates. So maybe I'll make some appearances at different ones, but they only have the 23 dates out yet. They don't have the 24s out, but
let's look. Is Atlanta, Georgia, Six Flags over Georgia one of them?
If you want to go to Give Kids the World, and you can actually pull it up because we got some time before Joe comes in and we can kind of I think it's the initials.org.
Oh.
And then go under events, and I think it's like one of the last ones.
Pulling it up now. And wait, there's a kid coming into my office. Come here, Harper. You can say hi.
Phil, he has not mentioned it to me. I know you won. I know you mentioned it to me too. I haven't seen Joe yet. I'll probably see him maybe sometime next week because I got to get tickets.
Everybody say hi to Harper.
Hey, Harper.
Say hi, Harper.
Hi.
So, real quick, before we talk about, since she's down here, last night was her first time going to a live wrestling event. And she totally hated wrestling before last night. But Harper, I want you to stand up and I want you to show everybody what you're wearing. Well, they can't see because of the microphone. Oh, okay. You want to show them the back?
That is a great return on investment right there.
She got to see Sting's last televised match. And Harper, tell them what I told you. What did it make me feel like seeing that? How old did I feel?
12.
Yeah. I can't see. I felt like I was 12 years old again watching Sting repel from the rafters.
I'm shocked they let that happen.
I am too. But so I was talking to a friend of mine, and it said that Sting and the Young Bucks wanted it to happen. But yeah, he stopped doing it after Owen Hart had his 97 incident. But yeah, and what's funny, one of the first times he ever came down from the rafters at WCW was in Huntsville. And so he after they stopped taping Dynamite, he came out and said, you know, I remember doing this 25 years ago, when it was Hogan going against DDP, and then Sting came down and threw the bat to DDP in the ring. So it was really cool. And you know, I it's weird to say this because wrestling is stupid. I mean, it's just
but it's real to me, damn it.
Hey.
I'm sure she heard a lot worse last night.
She did. Wrestling is it's a funny thing that we all sit and watch growing up, but sitting there holding my girls, watching a wrestler that was popular when I was younger, having his final televised appearance, it brought out some emotions in me. I never thought that I'd get to watch a televised event with my girls, watching a guy that I watched growing up, I idolized growing up. And, you know, it only could have happened because Tony Khan was a genius and wanted to throw billions of dollars.
He just likes to spend money.
Yeah. And by the way, I was probably 20 feet from that man. He doesn't blink in real life.
I don't want to say anything.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, he's a lizard man, right?
Oh, no, I was going to say the drugs make you do that.
Yeah. Well, booger sugars. All right, Harper, let me go talk. Okay. Love you, kid. Hey, go to bed. Okay. Yeah. Bedtime. She doesn't want to go to bed, folks. Okay. Shut the door. Parenting 101. Let your kids think they've won. But back to coasters for kids. I'm sitting here looking at it. Find a park.
And there's a bunch listed.
Yeah, Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. So, Carrie, the closest one to us is either Dollywood Or Busch Garden, yeah, Dollywood is the closest to us.
Or do you road trip it and come join Ashley's family, myself?
We got to do it. Yep. Yep.
I think it's a no brainer because I think you have to reach a goal of like $100, which is pretty much it's very minimal
$100.
for what it entitles. Like I think the one at Canopy Lake Park, which would be the park that we would choose, you don't get into the park until 2:00,
Right?
but you're there till 11, and it's during the Halloween season, and they have some. That's where I went to prep for HHN.
It is Saturday, September 23rd.
Remember, that's last year. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's last year. You're right. Registration opens at 1:30. Okay. So you have from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. to ride roller coasters.
Mm-hmm. And it's during the Halloween season to go through their houses.
Dude, I'm in. Let's make this happen.
I think we try to do it as a big group, even if you can't join us at the park we choose. Maybe I have to go down to you guys. Maybe we find a mutual,
or we find a way to get pretty close.
Yeah, we find a happy medium.
There you go.
So Sean did make his donation, and they actually reached out to him, which was pretty cool too.
Tell the story. Tell the story.
They wanted the story on like, why did you decide on Give Kids the World? And his words were, I used a lot of bad language in a podcast. So he used us, and we all decided that to donate to you guys. And then he used the story of he mentioned his sister's story.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
So kudos to Sean. Sean got a lot of feedback from last week's episode. He will be back.
I'd like to hear what was his feedback.
Oh, no. This is from other people. This is outside, like on how much they enjoyed him on the podcast, how well spoken he is. And I was like, is that my Sean? That's not my Sean. What's
honest?
Yeah,
I was very impressed with him.
So
I thought that he did a great job.
So what it also did is little fire under him a little bit, and Dinks the podcast is actually going to take off, and he will be a contributing member to the Around the Fire Pit podcast moving forward.
I like it. So if y'all are wondering what's going to happen with Around the Fire Pit, let's do a little bit of
we're going to get toasty.
What's going on here? We are going to right now stay a 2-man podcast. And there is going to be a rotating third seat. So be it Sean come on. One day we might have Michelle come on and talk about Disney shopping. One day we might have, I don't know, Ashley Foley come on and talk about something. Maybe she'll talk about something happening in July.
I'd love to know who Facebook user is.
Maybe she'll come on and talk about something that's happening in July of next year. Whatever that might be.
Eric's always welcome back.
Yep, Eric is going to come back. Who knows? We might even have a rotating seat for the new big kids table.
Mm-hmm.
Raise hand. That's Eric Terry. That's my buddy Turbo. Yep. Peyton, I don't know. I don't know if your mom would let you come on and do a whole show.
Yeah, you might get like 4 minutes. 4 minutes to just be like, Chiefs. I mean,
we could talk about what video game you're playing at the moment, but I mean, that would be cool sometimes. We might even have a pro wrestler show up every now and then.
Oh, definitely.
I do have a connection to some people on the AEW roster, and I might try to use it. So we'll see. But that's going on with the podcast. And in case you you hear something, yeah, we are a little I'm a little mad that someone else has started the podcast back up and
Salty.
spreading. See, I'm a little salty. I didn't think I was going to be, but I'm pretty salty considering.
You want to know why I'm not salty about it, Dave?
Yeah,
And
why?
I'm just going to be blunt.
Yeah.
It was crap.
It wasn't crap when you and I did it, though.
Nope.
It was crap because some other people.
It's if you're not going to do stuff live, you need to cut and paste things out.
Right. Oh, what I heard last week was total garbage. Like there were things that from the background that should not have made it out of the final cut.
That's probably why my pen's not around from all the clicking.
This. Oh, that's one of my nervous habits, dude. One of the first podcasts I did for my Disney podcast, I didn't have this good of a mic yet, and I did it every like 5 seconds. People thought I was cutting my fingernails, like because it made it into the final cut.
Speaking of mic, Sean went out and bought himself a new $100 microphone too.
Really?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I wish I just had throwaway income. That's the good thing about being dinks.
Well, you're a sink.
Yeah, I'm not a.
You are a sink.
Well, yeah.
Single. No kid.
Yeah. Well, the whole running joke was like Sean's wife Sarah's awesome, and she went online when they was first starting the thing, and she goes, "Are we actually dinkwads?"
What's a dinkwad?
With a dog.
At least it's not dink whack.
Dinkwad. Dual income, no kids, with a dog.
I kind of like it.
And so I went on custom ink and made kind of messed around and made shirts. I'm a dinkwad.
And you have to have a dog at the bottom just to make sure see what it's like. All right, are we still waiting on Joe? Because
Joe's not out of camp yet. I mean, you tell yourself story.
Do what?
Yeah, just tell a story of how awesome you are.
I mean,
I just asked him his ETA.
Okay.
I know he was in camp till 9.
That's 17 minutes ago, Matt.
He's not the best driver in the world. I know that for a fact.
Oh boy. All right. So I'll just say, if you get a chance to watch AEW Collision Saturday night, you'll see me in the first match as they're walking down the ring. I left right after the first match because Harper was falling asleep in my lap.
It's tough. It's
tough,
I warned you and I understand why they do it, because it's all financial and stuff like that.
Right.
But that is and I went during the summertime where I wasn't working. I had nothing to do in the morning and I struggled. The only reason I stayed the whole time is because I wanted to see the Acclaimed. And everybody loves the Acclaimed.
Here's what I'm mad about. So I love the fact that I got to see Jericho wrestle. But he came out as Lionheart. So I didn't get to sing Judas. So I'm laying in bed. Carrie Loney texts me and says, "Oh, I'm just sitting here with 8,000 of my friends singing Judas." He came out for Collision taping to Judas. I'm so mad. What I'm glad about though is I was going to stay to hear Max Caster's rap.
Apparently, they're so good.
Yeah, apparently, Sling Blade stopped the rap, so there was no rap. So I'd be so mad if I stayed thinking I'd hear a rap and there was none. So back when John Cena was doing his freestyle thing, yeah, this is basic thugonomics. They did a live SmackDown in Huntsville, and it was the week, a couple of weeks after the Mike Price incident in Alabama. For those who don't know, he was Mike Price was a coach that Alabama had hired right after Dennis Franchione, and he was caught at a strip club using a University of Alabama credit card.
Genius.
So that's a big no.
That's
Yeah, kind of.
You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to use state funds at
No,
on the exotic ladies.
no. And so John Cena was doing his gimmick, his little rap gimmick, and I was wearing my Alabama jersey to the show, and he said, and one of his words were, "I'll kick you off my campus quicker than Mike Price," and he looked at my jersey and went, "Oh," and that's on TV too. So I was like, I'd kind of like to see another freestyle rapper do something, but
Joe just got back to me. 5 minutes.
5 minutes. All right.
5 minutes. 5-minute warning.
Do we want to go? I mean, we're 20 minutes in. Let's go ahead.
Let's go ahead and spit. Let's flip the script a little bit. We'll make our announcement, which is not like the biggest secret in the world. It sucks that 2 people just got off the views, but they'll miss out.
Oh well. So as you see behind me, I have July of 2025. I wasn't able to circle the date, and I've gotten better at this. July 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Got to get back. We will be on the Utopia of the Seas, which will be the newest Royal Caribbean cruise ship. It's the last of the Oasis class. And we've got some rooms blocked for the Around the Fire Pit podcast cruise.
Yeah, we're excited about this. Obviously, you guys know we've been working on this behind the scenes for a while. We needed to wait for Royal Caribbean to drop some of the shorter cruise dates because we want some people that haven't cruised before, but we also don't want to do like a longer cruise in case it's not their thing. We just thought a nice 4-day would be a great idea, especially when you.
Yes, Matt, Phil, they have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you can get Wi-Fi. Especially when it was on the Utopia, that was just kind of like, because Dave, what time did I message you last night when I saw all that? 9 o'clock my time, 10 o'clock my time?
No, it was 7 o'clock because Dynamite was just going live. Remember, you said, Dave, get off your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I was looking at my watch.
Right. Yeah. So all this kind of everything that we've been waiting for kind of just spiraled in a quick 17-hour time frame to make everything happen. We have rooms blocked.
I think I've got 12 rooms. Ashley has 13 rooms. But if we have more than that, if we have more cruisers coming, we could definitely get more. I'll tell you this much. If we could sell out our blocks, I will be shocked and I'll be totally happy. Don't feel obligated. It's not a, hey,
if cruising's not your thing.
Yeah.
Don't.
And I'll say this. Unlike some other people that do group cruises and they make it so much about them, this isn't a come hang out with Matt and Dave cruise. This is, if you want to, awesome. But if you want to just come get a group rate, hang out on one of the coolest ships, one of the newer ships, come on.
We have some ideas of some things that we're going to we're going to put together as we get closer. I'm not going to say a pub crawl by any chance.
I will. I mean, there's a bourbon crawl on the.
I like how I'm just getting yelled at via text right now. Kerry, look at what year we are going. I'll take an apology via text. It's the same as my aunt. Oh. I send her the picture that we have, and she go, "You want to know her response? I have a doctor's appointment." Like, what? I'm like, how do you know you have a doctor's appointment in July of 20?
I need to hear this.
Oh, no. It's just like
So one thing I'm thinking, I wonder if Royal will give us a place where we could do a live around the fire pit.
Possibly, maybe not.
I went on.
I'm going to be honest with you, Dave, and I talked to Ashley a little bit about this.
Yeah.
My room might not be a part of the block because Annie Beth is crazy.
She wants a bigger room.
Oh, of course. And maybe we do it from the room that I'm gonna kind of offer up.
See, that's the thing, though. We'd want to have a live audience.
Oh, we'd have space.
Okay.
We'd have space.
We might do one night where we just buy out the mason jar and do a southern food eating night.
And I want personalized pitches. Can I stay with Annie Beth this time? No, Ashley, you can't. I haven't even shown her what the room is yet.
Well, I will say.
Well, I want to get the 2-bedroom aqua theater.
Well, that's great because you're going to buy it from me. So,
the one thing there is a brewery right in Nassau. I know people are like, oh shit, they're going to Nassau. I get it. Nassau's not the greatest place in the world to go, but it's people can understand when you're doing a shorter 4-5 night cruise.
That's where you're going.
That's where you're going, and it is what you get out of it. I hate to put myself in this category. Us older folk.
Oh, we're not. Hold up. We're not old.
We get one of those. Maybe I'm gonna die vans. And go over to Atlantis and we gamble for a little bit.
Or
there's a brewery right at the port. Or the size of the ship. We stay on the ship.
Exactly. Hey, Ashley, you turn 40 in a couple of months. So I don't want to hear old people comments.
So we're excited about this. I mean, this has been the talk all day between, we have a small group chat going of Team Massachusetts and the Jolly Green Giant.
I don't know. But so hey, what if we had a what's the word I'm looking for? A slot machine pull with Annie Beth, where Annie Beth teaches us how to do slot machines.
Oh, she might throw. The worst about it is like we might be able to do some sort of thing in our own casino. Beth gets competitive though. She throws elbows.
That was the most fun. That was awesome on the last cruise watching her do a slot.
And she got beat out by an old lady that literally had to get carried into the slot machine. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Just looking at this ship real quickly today. There's just going to be so many options of cool things to do on this ship.
Yep.
And I think it was just a no-brainer. I know we all said we were waiting for Royal Caribbean, and having the opportunity to be the Utopia, it just makes sense.
It just worked.
Yeah,
it worked. I was almost hoping that the Icon prices would come down by then, but they weren't. But the Utopia is going to, it's the I think it'll be like the second or third largest ship on the waters at the time. So you can't go wrong. And I'll be honest, I went on the sister ship, the Wonder, last year, and you could literally stay on the ship and still not run out of things to do.
I was just looking at like the food options. Joe's going to be on any second, so just keep an eye down at the bottom of the screen. Mason jar. I've never been in it. Kind of excited because I've heard great things by lots of different people.
Look,
not even just you, just other people in general too.
The Mason jar it's a Southern style food. And for a guy like me who has lived his whole life in the South, to tell you that this is some of the best Southern food I have had outside of my grandmother and great-grandmother's kitchen, that's a big deal.
What is it? El Loco Fresh, the Mexican restaurant?
And it's a quick grab and go type thing.
They have that new restaurant. So if you're in the cruise world, I'm not anymore, but I still read a lot of the stuff. They have that restaurant where you're on the ship, but it's actually like you're on the train.
Yep.
I'm intrigued by that. I
don't know. Oh, here he is.
All right. Yeah, we'll get back to this one.
Put a plug because he's back. I
Oh
thought,
no, I was gonna actually have fun with this one once we get. Should I put him on? Are you putting him on?
I'm about to. I've got my finger on it, but he's back. We thought we had lost him, but the one, the only, Joe Skeletor is back.
Giannetti.
So let me ask you. So we were calling you Champ.
Yep.
Are we calling you Champ, or what are we calling you now?
Handsome.
I don't get that one a lot, so I'll take that.
So Joe, welcome back. I gotta ask, you came straight from training, right?
Yep. Just got home.
So what
Just remember,
was
we
on...
only have 15 minutes before it's
Okay.
snuggle time with Shawnee.
Pretty much.
I understand. I understand. I'm gonna be quick and precise here. What was on the training regiment tonight?
Jiu-jitsu and wrestling. We went down to Roger Williams University in Rhode Island, got some wrestling in down there, and it was exhausting.
Okay. So what is your go-to hold when it comes to wrestling?
Half Nelson, basics all day.
Really?
That's
How
what
many
that's my most successful one. Like that's
Okay.
what my coach makes me go to. Me
Dave,
personally,
you understand there's two different wrestlings, right?
Yes,
He's not putting him in a Ric Flair figure four.
I like Matt wrestling and not the fake stuff too, Matt.
so
it's real to me, damn it.
So I had my go-to when I was in high school. I don't know if I can call it my go-to because I only did it, and I ended up getting in trouble every time I did it. But I personally liked it. Was like the banana split or the spladle, and every single time, whether it worked or not, I'd get yelled at. So
Why?
I usually ended up winning because it's a very it's a high risk, low reward type of move. And I don't know. That's just like how my style was when I got somewhat decent at wrestling in high school.
Okay, decent. So wait. You're in cage fighting. How could
Yeah.
you only be decent in high school?
Oh, I was horrible.
He wasn't decent. Yeah, he was horrible.
I was horrible. My junior year, I didn't win a single match. And then my freshman and sophomore year, I won. I think my freshman year, I won 1 or 2, and then my sophomore year, I won 1 or 2.
Okay, all right.
And then my senior year, I won 15 and 12. So big jump from junior to senior year.
So was it steroids? Was it? No,
Oh, we'll get into steroids later.
Yeah. All right, Joe, I got to ask. Matt's probably going to tell me to shut up, Dave. But
Yeah, shut up, Dave.
there's been some drama.
Yep.
Up there in the Great White North in Massachusetts.
He'll never change.
I'll never change, never. There's been a lot of drama between you and pretty much the rest of your division. I'm down here in the South, but even I hear about it because, I've got Big Mouth of the North up over here as my co-host.
That's me.
So tell me, what's the drama and what's the tea? Come on.
I don't know. I'm not a drama guy.
Oh, bullshit, Joe.
Whoa. Wow. Wow. You changed. You want me to, Joe? I'll talk for you if you.
No, it's pretty simple. Like, I thought it calmed down for a while. I kind of just put my head down and I was just training and fighting, and I was like, whatever. I don't need to beef with people. I was getting fights. It is what it is. And then it kind of just became one of those things where we went back to square one of, obviously I had lost a couple fights ago, and then I had won again on short notice, up a weight class. But the UFC has said they want to see me at lightweight. They want to see me making 155. They want to see me winning at 155 to even be considered to get another contract. So 155 is where I need to be. And it makes it so hard when, I get a text 8 weeks out from a fight card going, hey, I've got this guy at 170 and I've got this guy at 55. And I go, okay, give me the guy at 55. Well, he hasn't won in 5 years. Okay, beating him doesn't show the UFC that I'm worth a damn. So, okay, what about the 170 guy? Oh, well, he's coming off of 2 losses or he's coming off 1 win, but he's 100% in. So it's like we can waste our time with this guy at 55 that probably won't even take the fight or won't do anything for me. Or I can fight the guy at 170 who also really doesn't do anything for me, but I don't have to cut weight, especially near the holidays. So my go-to is not have to cut so much weight. So I take that fight and then and I'm 100% in. As soon as I sign the dotted line, I'm 100% in. And 2 weeks later, not even, maybe even a week, somebody sends me a thing that the Ultimate Fighter is doing applications for the next season of their show. I'm like, I'll do it again. Why not? It was a great experience. Look it up. It's 145 and 185. Never fought at either weight class. The lowest I've ever gone was my second amateur fight. I did 150, and it was miserable. But fighting at 170, being undefeated at 170, I'm like, to me, that's really only going up one weight class, and I'm bulking up to fight at 170 anyways. So I was like, screw it, I'll send in an application. Send it in, and I had sent in an application for a previous season. Granted, I missed the deadline because I was in fight camp, and I didn't even get a word back. So this time, I get a word back. I get a, hey, we're going to do an interview, and we'll start the process. Awesome. Do the interview. It's 2 producers that worked the last time I was on the show. Nice to see you. How you been? Da 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 da. It was barely an interview. We kind of just caught up. Like, felt like I was talking to an old friend. We were just like, oh, how you been? Da 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 da. This, that, the other thing. We had a couple laughs, and they were like, we're gonna call you at the end of the month. End of the month, we are locking in our picks, and we'll call you, and then we'll do your background check, and then as long as that's good, you're all set. We'll fly you out. I think it was like beginning of March or mid March, and we'll film. All right, cool. Now, the one rule for between there and hey, you're on the show and actually airing on TV is don't tell anybody you're on the show. Like, so last time that I did the show, like 5 or 6 years ago, I was in the same situation. I had a fight booked at 155. Back then they used to fly you they didn't fly you, but you flew out to Vegas to do tryouts. I did that, and I was like, oh, I'm definitely on the show. And even when I left Vegas, they didn't tell you. They're just, you're in the final round, we'll call you, let you know. I was 100% sure. I was like, I'm on, guaranteed. So I told the promotion I was supposed to fight for, I was like, hey, I'm not really supposed to tell people, but I'm obviously going to tell you guys, I'm on the Ultimate Fighter next season. I'm not going to be able to make it to the fight night. Like, I'm so sorry if you feel like I wasted your time. They were like, don't sweat it. We'll tell your opponent. It is what it is. Like, it happens. They tell my opponent. He messages me and goes, dude, I would have done the same thing. Like, we're all trying to get to the same place. Now, fast forward to a couple months ago, I'm thinking we're all fighters. We're all trying to get to the same place. People understand. I hit up Cage Titans a month out. First of all, I sent the application in 2 months out from the last fight date and told them. So there's already a chance that I might not be fighting. Then a month out after I do my interview, I said, hey, man, I'm pretty convinced I'm on the show. Like, barely did an interview. Like, I knew a couple other people that did interviews, and they did like legitimate interviews. We just kind of caught up and were shooting the shit, had a good laugh. So I'm like, and the way they were talking, how they were like, we're going to call you at the end of the month and do your second interview and then background check and you're good. To me, sounds like, hey, you're on the show.
Right.
So I told Cage Titans, like, hey, man, I'm out. And you can tell my opponent why I'm out. Just tell him. Yeah, I did my interview. They gave me a date for a second interview, and he's going to be on the show. So I thought that was it. End of that, not fighting, wait and see how the second interview goes. Next thing you know, I wake up, my former opponent is tagging me in posts saying I pulled out, being super unprofessional, even though I'm 100% healthy and I'm not sick and I'm a disgrace to the sport and dragging my name through the mud. And then started posting like, message me and I'll tell you the real reason why he pulled out, which, like I said, is like the golden ticket, the one rule. Do not do this or you're done. So, I went online and said what I could, which wasn't much yet. So I was just like, I'm out of the fight. It's unfortunate. And I kind of always throw in like vague stuff to my posts, like whether I'm taking a fight or pulling out of a fight. And so what I had said was, I'm unable to fight on this next card. I was like, but I will be there because people always text me like, hey, I saw you here, but I was afraid to say hi. I just have resting bitch face. Just come say hi. I say it to everybody. Like, I'm socially awkward and have resting bitch face. You see me in person, you're like, that guy does not want to talk. And I don't. But that I'm just socially awkward. But like, come say hi. I tell people all the time. So when I made my post, I was like, I will be at the fights. Like, be sure to come say hi. I was like, and if all goes according to plan, I'll be back in the cage in March. Not talking about Cage Titans, talking about the Ultimate Fighter, thinking I'm going to be on. So all these idiots with half information start just piling it on. Oh, he pulled out of a fight a week out, and he's already planning his next fight. What a disgrace. With not the full context of the story, and my former opponent feeding into it, knowing I can't step up and explain to everybody what's going on.
His family
is coming after me, all this stuff. And like I said, I told a bunch of my friends, like, what bothered me is, as a fighter, forget everything else. Man to man, zero respect. As a fighter, I respect just about everybody. And now for him, there's absolutely none. And I made a video after all the BS happened. And I said, I felt bad when I pulled out of the fight. For him, not for me. I was doing what was best for me. I felt bad for him. But then after the way he handled it, I was glad. I'm a very petty person. It's a very big character flaw of mine. I'm a very petty person. So as soon as this all happened, and then he said it's too close to fight night to find me a replacement, when I personally knew 3 people that offered to fight, and he said no, I only want interesting fights. So to me, I'm going, okay, so you had a fight with me, which was like your big ticket because you haven't won in 5 years, and you lost that, and you're mad, and I get it. But now instead of beating me in a cage, you're going to drag my name through the mud, knowing I can't defend myself, and then lie and say you don't have replacements. I was like, you're a disgrace. You're like, you're setting this narrative that I'm a disgrace. No, you're a disgrace. Like, I kept in touch with the promotion throughout the whole process, let him know I could be pulling out, let him know I was pulling out. And then they went and found him replacements because that's what Cage Titans does. They find replacements. They want the show to go on. And he turned it down and kind of tried to pin it all on me. And to make matters even worse, he was telling people like, I'm going to see him at the fights and I'm going to have a word with him, all this other shit. And I was like, I told everybody, I'm not going to the fights like as a fan to start a fight in the crowd. But like, if he wants to have a word with me and be like, hey man, I get it, but I'm still pissed at you, is what it is. But then when some of his buddies started saying, oh, are we brawling at the bar afterwards? Are we going to brawl there? Then it's like, okay, well, I sold 72 tickets and I didn't even fight. So if you want to come fight me, then you're just fighting 72 people.
Hold up. Are his buddies cage fighters too?
Not the ones that were offering up to fight. Yeah.
Whose dumbass idea?
You'd be surprised.
Fight a guy whose job is to fight.
You would be surprised. The amount of people that were commenting on my post saying, oh, I bet I could beat your ass. You're nothing.
It's crazy, Dave. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And like, I have to go private message with Joe so I don't go in and like, I'm not a fighter. I'm 44 and I'm fat. Like, I'm not, like, if Joe gets in a scrap, don't get me wrong, I'm going to go down and I'm going to poke a kid in the eye.
Here's the thing. You and I are big. But we can take a 170-pound man.
Like Dave, I'll be honest, and I'll say this. Sean Lally would kick my ass. Like, and I understand that. And probably like 900 of his friends can too. But like, when you know the truths,
right,
and you say another thing. And Joe showed me a text message, not from him, from another fighter that, I'll be honest, we don't like. I don't like him. You don't like him.
Not a fan.
We don't like people from Maine. In this
or Canada.
We don't like Canada. Yeah, Canada either. And like, we'll talk about you for it in a minute because I got my own gripe with him.
Oh God.
He knew, like, he could read the writing on the wall, gave you props.
Yep.
And then gave you but I still want to punch you in the face.
It's honest message. Yeah.
And the thing about it is this guy is kind of just kept a low profile. Now let's talk about Captain Canada a little bit.
Well, hold up. I got a question here. In the middle
here you go.
So Joe, you say you're petty and all that, and you hold a grudge. For you as a fighter, does that make you then want to say, all right, asshole, let's get in the cage?
So here's where, and I don't think I told anybody this, but here's where it gets interesting. So he actually ended up reaching out to Cage Titans again and saying, if at any point throughout the week Joe changes his mind or hears he's definitely not on the show, I'm still down to fight. So after,
and that's the way he is.
Which is fine. Yeah, which is fine. But my problem was, after having 3 replacements ready to go, and you saying there are no replacements, and now I won't be fighting and all this stuff, but to then turn around and tell Cage Titans like, hey, mention to Joe, if he changes his mind, I'll still fight him. And I'd be lying if I didn't tell you, after all the shit I took online without being able to defend myself. Me and Shawnee sat here and were like, I'm gonna take this fucking fight, and I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna go to prison for what I do to him in the cage. Like, it's gonna be bad. Like, the first time ever, like, I've been angry going into plenty of fights, but this was just like, there's only one other fighter, and I haven't gotten in the cage with him yet, that has gotten me this angry. But I was like, I want to kill him. I want him to be. He's talking about worried about not fighting. I want him to never fight again. And then the petty kicked in, and the petty outweighs the anger every time. And the petty goes, you know what would piss him off more? You don't fight him. Make him waste his whole fight camp. Train all that for nothing. Because I do all that training 365 days a year, whether I'm fighting or I'm not fighting. So I don't feel bad that you decided to put your gloves on for 5 weeks. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it's like, I did feel bad and I was angry and I almost took that fight again. I was like 20, 30 minutes from texting Cage Titans being like, I don't even care. Let's do the fight. And then I was like, no, just because the way he handled it, you don't get to fight. And you know what? You can suck it up and you can take it.
He didn't deserve the fight in the first place. And I like him as a fighter. I do. I think he's kind of a badass and he's tough. And maybe it's due to the fact that we're almost like the same age. but I give him credit. Joe, quick question here from Facebook user because they don't know how to use
Chris Maples.
Chris, my man Chris. Chris is from South Carolina on his way back from Disneyland. You lucky bastard. While fighting at your current level, restricted to fighting in the Northeast or you fight in the South. I'm sure Chris is not familiar with your LFA fights.
So I can fight anywhere I want. I don't have like a multi-fight deal with Cage Titans, but it's pretty simple and it sounds greedy, but I'm broke, so that's the way it is. I make the most money fighting at Cage Titans. You know, guys from other promotions or other regions call me out, and I'm like, cool, come fight me at Cage Titans, and they're like, oh, you just want the home team advantage. I'm like, no, I want the home team money. Like, I'm broke. I'm not making UFC level money. You know, Cage Titans treats everybody great, and they give us the most avenues to make money than any other promotion I fought for. We get ticket commissions. We can make our own shirts, and we sell the shirts. We get pay-per-view commission. You know, they do the submission of the night bonuses and stuff like that. And then everything else that you get fighting with them. All the exposure, everybody does a great job. It's just, you don't get that in all these other promotions. Even promotions that aren't the UFC, but are deemed bigger than Cage Titans, like, that's cool. It's great to fight at a bigger promotion, but it's also great to pay my rent. like it's also great when I just go, here, bills are paid, you know? Yep. And it's like, I've had fight camps where I fought for these bigger promotions and I've lost money. And I'm like, okay, well, I lost the fight and I lost money. That sucked. And then I go to Cage Titans and I win or lose, and I'm like, well, at least I get to wipe my tears with $100 bills. Like,
right. It's the ticket revenue that you bring in. Obviously, pay-per-view buys. You know what I mean, come from all throughout the U.S. at that point. But also in the scheme of things, like, you're not paying for hotel rooms. Like, if people aren't familiar with Plymouth, Massachusetts, if you're not, open a history book.
It's some rock.
It's big. The hotel situation down there's not a lot, so their pricing is insane. So for Joe to have the opportunity to live 35 minutes away and not spend that extra income, it's stupid not to fight there.
Exactly. Right. And you know, Cage Titans at a point where we're flying in guys from all over the world because the guys around here don't want to fight me. So it's like, you still get that high level talented fights, and I get to make money in the meantime.
That's cool. All right, Joe, we probably got you for another 5 minutes. I'm looking at my watch and I've got a text from Matt.
I have one question. You can go with another one. I'll save the Dufort stuff for like.
Okay. You can ask away. I got time.
Well, okay. First off, like,
you seem like it needs to get off your chest.
Well, I follow Dufort on Instagram, probably just like you do.
No, I don't. He's too nice of a guy. I'm petty. Listen, I'm more petty that he's a nice guy. If he was a dick, I'd probably be like, screw it, I'm going to follow him. But he's such a nice guy.
Like, I want to send him a message. First off, his fans suck balls.
Well, they're Canadian. What do you expect?
No, it was just, like, obviously, Joe, you lost the fight. I don't want to go back down that path. It was a shitty time for everybody. I wasn't in my right seat. I got there late. I didn't park in the right spot. I didn't eat at the right restaurant.
It makes me feel so much better, though, yeah,
we talked about this at the picture.
I had so much shit that was so out of routine, and I was like, but you weren't the only one. I had like 4 or 5 people that are like, I sat 3 seats to the right than when I normally sit. I had somebody go, I never go to your fights, and I finally came, and you lost, and I'm like, don't come back. I'm like, buy the pay-per-view, don't come back.
Joe, I'm sorry. That was the first time I actually watched it. So
you're off.
I'm sorry. I know.
Catch it on Instagram.
But like, I just wish he would speak English.
Yeah,
it bothers me because, like, I'm sure he's giving some sort of great information because he was just spent like the last month training in Florida.
Yep.
I'd like to know what the hell he's saying.
Well,
like,
it's like Sami
like,
Zayn and Kevin Owens when they're down here.
oh no, like Dave, like he's straight up French Canadian. Like you might get 3 words. I didn't know what a tabernacle was until he called Joe one.
Me either.
And that's not a good word.
No, I figured it out. It sounds like the name of a bar, though.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. So that's my do for it bitch. And obviously he's hiding, but I think he's got something in the works, it seems like. But it is what it is. He's the Canadian badass, and I'll give him his props.
Yeah, he's still an asshole for being a nice guy.
Yeah, well.
Dave, do you want to go with your question before I end it?
I do. I got a biggie. So as you all know, and Joe, you've heard before, I'm a wrestling fan. Other wrestling, not, I like both sides. I'm a pro wrestling fan. and it's kind of a big deal in your sport, though, because UFC just merged with WWE. What have you seen in your sport now that it's not UFC over everything? It's now TKO Sports. Has there been a change in the UFC? Has there been a change in the way that cage fighting has kind of funneled up to the UFC? Is there something new going on that there's maybe some more money in the game?
Nothing's really changed as far as the fighting. I would just say that the UFC specifically uses that as like another avenue to advertise. Michael Chandler was at one of the shows recently.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
But that was kind of weird.
But Michael Chandler's like that guy. Like that's the guy that I'm like, dude, why aren't you in the WWE? Like he gives these big like hoorah, like obnoxious speeches about everything. Like it's an ongoing joke on like Twitter and Instagram that like Michael Chandler could be doing like a deodorant commercial and he'd get you ready to run through a wall because like everything is so deep and methodical. He'll be like, they use the rainwater from the rainforest to keep it all natural and like it's always something. I think that it's just another avenue for the UFC to advertise on and a way to kind of pull some WWE fans to the UFC. But as far as like the way everything's run, I don't really think anything's changed. Not that I've seen or heard of.
Okay. All right.
And at the local level, you're not going to see that much of a difference, really.
Yeah.
Well, no, but you had some interaction with them just the last couple of months, apparently. So I know that's your ultimate goal. So do you think that it'll be harder to get there because it has a little bit more of a governing body besides Dana White, or is there? I don't know what does that do for your overall goal?
I don't think it really changes much. I think if anything, it brings new players to the game to where certain decisions might happen in the next few years. Somebody from TKO might be like, oh, I think you guys should try this or try that. The biggest thing that I think a lot of people, at least I've seen on Twitter, that kind of agree with me is the UFC's like advertisement, because they have so many fight cards now. It's tough. Right. So I get it. But like their advertisement for these are getting, I don't want to say stale, but stale. They kind of just throw up a couple highlights of the main event and then one or two fighters that are like specifically trying to build up, and then it's like fight poster. You know what I mean? But like somebody recently posted the UFC 200 announcement. When that fight card came out, they were announcing Brock Lesnar was on the card, but they had like it looked like a movie trailer. Well,
they did a thing for like a breaking news press conference like on ESPN back then.
Exactly. And it's tough because I've seen a lot of people saying they're trying to make the UFC, more like every other sport. Like, oh, every Sunday I watch the football game. Every Saturday I watch the UFC. Like, I think we have another 8 weeks in a row of UFC every Saturday night, which is like awesome, which is like, I love it. But the problem is, cards get watered down. You can't advertise every card the same. Obviously, the pay-per-views are going to take more priority. So it just gets rough. But I'm hoping at least somebody from TKO will notice that or see it at least on social media and be like, okay, we either need a couple less shows or we need to really hammer home like the advertisement on these. Because even some of the fight posters, you're like, did you just change the color? Like I could have just changed the color.
I mean, I can remember watching, UFC 100, UFC 95. It was a huge deal to order these pay-per-views.
Yep.
And now you turn the channel, it's there's a cage fight. There's a cage fight going on. I mean, it's not as big as it used to be.
And having so many of them, they're so expensive now.
Right.
Yep. And I think that's the other thing too, is like everybody, me included as a fan, everybody's sick of the Apex Center. As a business, like it makes sense. You get to keep it in-house at your own facility. You don't got to pay out all this crap, but like just today I retweeted the video. It was Dustin Poirier and Dan Hooker. They fought in the middle of COVID in an empty UFC Apex. And first of all, the cool thing about it, for us, not them, listening to those shots land, it was like an action movie. Every punch, it was like an action movie. It was insane. But after having recent cards still in the Apex, if that fight had a crowd, you wouldn't be able to hear commentary. The roof would be blown off of that place. Like the last few fight cards we've had recently with fans have been amazing. But then knowing this weekend there's going to be no fans, like you don't even realize how much the fans get you going at home until you don't have them there.
Right. I mean, I said the same thing about baseball and football during COVID. Watching a game where there's nothing going on, it's just weird. Like, yeah, 2020, I remember watching baseball, and when you hear the guys talking in the outfield, or you actually hear the ball hit the glove when they're pitched, I'm like, okay, I enjoy that when I'm at the park.
Yeah, it's like you're watching a Little League game.
Right. But yeah, you're right. It something about the crowd and getting hype and all that stuff. It's that big. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it makes the moments. And a lot of videos have like popped up on my TikTok and stuff. There was like a famous tweet that went around. Somebody was like, I don't understand why people like sports. And then there's always like the biggest miracles in sporting history is usually what follows afterwards. But I watch it all the time, and every time, like the chills you get is 40% from the moment and 60% from the crowd.
Yeah.
Like when you're down by one and you make the buzzer beater, the crowd is what gets you going. Like everybody's losing it.
I don't know. Miracle on Ice. Do you believe in miracles? Yes. That's what gets you going.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, that gets you going.
I'm Chris Maples. I'm going to skip that question. I'll answer it for Joe. I don't think he's going to show up fight night.
Stop! So many people have said that.
I think he's gonna miss weight.
So I will say this because pettiness back again.
Oh boy.
Because I get so much flack about like my weight misses, and I don't have an exceedingly high amount, though people make it seem that way. When people specifically are like, "You're not going to make weight," or they have a history of not making weight, but nobody really talks about it, I make sure that I'm getting paid if said person doesn't make weight. Me and Saul Almeida fought, and I forget if he commented or messaged me, and he was like, "I bet you don't make weight." And I said, "How much do you bet I don't make weight?" And he said $1,000. And I said, "Cool. Whoever misses weight, the other one has to pay $1,000." He missed by 0.2 pounds because he refused to take his boxers off, and I got paid.
Wow.
It's that simple, you know, and a lot of people might see this and say, like, I'm a hypocrite. Like I said, if you look back, I don't have nearly as many weight misses as people think. You can count it on one hand.
It was the Bone fight almost 3 years ago.
I can tell you right now, it was Bone, Aaron McKenzie at LFA. I was off by 0.2 pounds. Still a weight miss. It is what it is. And then the Paddy Pimblett fight, I took on 10 days notice, and I missed by 4 pounds.
Yeah, that's a different animal.
You know, I tell people all the time, I don't give a shit about the Paddy Pimblett fight. It's because he's another one that the way he handled it, pettiness kicked in, and I don't feel bad anymore. You know, the Aaron McKenzie fight, that honestly couldn't tell you what happened. We were, and this is another reason I like fighting locally. I know where my sauna is. I'm like, I go to this gym, they have this sauna, I know the temperature, and I cut weight. When we were in South Dakota, I think it was, or North Dakota, whatever one it was, we went to the gym that we called ahead of time. Their sauna was broken that day. So we went to another one. They only had the infrared sauna. So when you're like half a pound out from making weight, and now you've got red lights cooking you, it's miserable. So then a Hail Mary, we tried the hot tub to sweat it out. Didn't work. You know what I mean? So it was just a bad weight cut. Everyone has one. And then the Bone one, especially because I was the one that posted about it before anybody knew, was 1,000% my fault. Just was like, took my data from my previous weight cut and was like, I sweat out 5 pounds in an hour. I'm going to do 5 pounds in an hour this time. And it just didn't work out. And I missed by 5 pounds.
I want to sweat out 5 pounds in an hour.
Shit.
No,
you don't. I'll tell you how bad it is because, I swear it's like somebody's following me. Whenever I go to cut weight and it's like the last session, I've got 3-4 pounds left. Somebody walks in with a blender bottle full of ice water, and they sit down and they make sure they do one of these.
Oh my gosh.
And the sound of the ice clinking the cup, I would kill somebody to just listen to that ice. I'm so thirsty at that point. Like, the sound of ice is the greatest thing ever. But Anyways, basically, I make sure that because it's like Ali, he's missed weight at the big shows. Like
he's really a 170. He's really a welterweight.
And unfortunately, he's short, but it is what it is.
Short and stocky.
Exactly.
He's got shoulders, and the fight's going to go this way. Fabian's going to try to fight him, and then when things don't go his way, he's going to try to poke Joe in the eye. That's what he does.
This is true.
He's a big Three Stooges guy.
Yeah.
Ric Flair much?
And then I'm going to end it with this one, Joe, because I know I'm probably going to get a text message of hate in a couple seconds. This will only mean something to a couple people like my brother and some others. Your Mount Rushmore in New England MMA. Go.
Oh, easy. Johnny Cupcakes.
Oh, damn right.
Yeah.
How about his thing on Cage Titans the other night? I want to fight people because of him now.
I didn't even see it. I was at the gym. Was it crazy?
He was so good.
Really?
Like I like him anyway, but like that was
awesome.
so good. And then the dude from California, Maquette or whatever his name is.
Was he chopping it up too? I didn't watch it.
Do yourself a favor. The interview with the dude from California. Who's he? Is he fighting Perrin?
Yes. Know who you're rooting for.
I just like this guy. The guy's like he's California.
He's just like a bro, like a
He's
surfer
got the
dude.
hair back.
I've seen the hair. The hair is legit.
He looks
California.
like Anthony Kiedis. Okay, so we got Cupcakes.
Johnny Cupcakes. I'm gonna go. Oh, maybe brain fart.
Where's Joe Giannetti? Is he on this one?
No.
Joe Giannetti is on this. It's Johnny Cupcakes, me, Manny Bermudez, and trying to think. I'm sure I'm gonna get hate for this because I'll forget somebody's name. I don't know who could be a fourth. There's one guy I could think of, but I hate him, so he doesn't get on there.
I wouldn't. I had we won't use names or anything, but like I know I got some friends in there. I had a bad experience at their restaurant a couple weeks ago.
That makes me so happy.
No, it was miserable.
I'm so petty.
It was so bad. We left.
But like I'll tell you right now,
food.
I'm a big like Google review type of guy. I go to a restaurant and I'm like, oh, food was cold, the waitress was miserable, and everything was terrible. My Google, 4 people that follow me on Google are gonna know.
All right.
Well, Joe, before
Matt, do you want to talk about the? So if anybody is we got 7 people are leaving, so because it's past everybody's bedtime in the Northeast. Anybody who's noticed, we posted up trying to support Joe with Fight Camp. Remember, any money that's donated goes right back into Joe's Fight Camp to support of everything that needs to do over the next
3.5 weeks,
30 days, pretty much.
Yeah, just about.
Anything over $10 goes into a raffle. We'll have Joe kind of do like a cool thing as it gets closer to not fight week, because I know better. For a t-shirt, if it gets really high, we'll do something with some gloves. If you're a Northeast person, you're looking to go to the fight, that's actually kind of, even though it's a sucky weekend for everybody. And you're
I'm not allowed to watch the fight, apparently.
Hey, that's a real team player.
I mean, there's a lot of way for us around the Fire Pit family to support Joe. So if you and Dave and I were talking about this before we went on the air. If everybody just donated $5, $5 goes a long way. Everything just builds up. Don't think of it like, oh, it's just $5. It's not going to mean anything to them. Every dollar builds up and every dollar counts.
It's funny you mentioned that because I actually recorded part of a video today I'm going to post tomorrow, because it's so easy to, when you're looking for sponsors specifically, to be like, everything helps, Fight Camp's expensive, but it's a video just being like, people always ask what their sponsorships or donations go to. Well, this is it. And so what I did for part of it was I got all my supplements together for a month. And I was like, how much do I spend a month on supplements? You would not believe how much I spend on supplements.
I don't know if I want to know.
$340.
Shit.
And I never realized. I had no idea. And I was like, I have some sponsors that give me $500, and I'm like, almost that entire sponsorship check is going to go to 30 days of, and it's nothing crazy. It's creatine, vitamin B, C, D, protein, like nothing medical, like out of this world. And it costs so much. And so like you said, I tell people all the time, especially when I do a video about tickets or t-shirts, obviously I'd love you to buy them from me. It helps me out. But I always tell people, like, if you have a favorite local fighter, like, buy tickets from them, because like it does add up, you know, and t-shirts, everything, every dollar helps. You know, I drive a V8 to Lawrence twice a week. It's an hour and 10 minutes to go train, 2 hours both ways. Like, the gas sucks, but literally everything helps, and I do appreciate it.
Yeah, Phil, anybody who donates via Venmo, in the subject, just put the Skeletor, the skeleton emoji, so we know.
Yeah.
Joe and I are keeping track. I challenge.
What? Isn't there a fire pit emoji?
Well, I wanted to go with this because it's more.
Okay.
It's easier for me to keep track of it. It's easier for him to keep track of who's who.
True.
I'd like to hit that. I'd like to hit 500. I'm challenged the fire pit. I'm going to do it tonight on the page. You mean we're at 105 right now? I'd love to hit 500 going by St. Patty's Day. You mean we got 17 days?
Well, I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, Joe, I want to do everything we can, and I want to end with this because I know that you're about to get in a lot of trouble. I know Matt's about to get a really mean text, but I have to say personally, congratulations. Since the last time you were on the show, I hear something very, very big happened in your personal life.
Yes, sir.
I wish you and her the best happiness you could ever have. And I hope that she knows what the hell she's getting herself into.
Oh, she's been around long enough.
Yeah, she knows. She knows.
But that just cherish her for the rest of your life, man.
Is it this year, Joe?
Yes.
There's a cutoff date.
November 1st is the wedding.
When is your cutoff date?
So there's a card in September that I'm gonna be fighting on. I got the green light.
Which
what
Joe,
if you have a busted up nose and like busted up ears?
Which I actually have already on my calendar because that is Matt Manders' 45th birthday.
Let's go. See, it's meant to be.
But it's also, if I remember correctly, if things go correctly, I think that's also the UFC the Mexican show they're going to do with the Sphere, which I prefer you to be on that card because I really want to go to the Sphere.
I want to go to the Sphere. I would love to fight on that card. I will fight at heavyweight to fight on a card at the Sphere.
Unless she has said, "Hey, that's our wedding day," and
well, you can just cancel everything and get married in Vegas and save a lot of money.
Do what Usher did. Do what Usher did. He did the halftime show,
and then went and got married,
and then came and did his after party.
That's insane.
That's probably what you should do. Is just have if the UFC is going to happen. I know it's going to happen eventually.
It will.
Dana and Hunter marry you right in the middle of the cage.
Hunter got married in Las Vegas. Remember?
That'd be amazing.
All right, Joe. Plug yourself real quick and get on out of here and go to bed.
So like you guys see at the bottom, it's at Giannetti MMA, 2 N's, 2 T's, 2 M's. Everybody messes it up, but you can find me on every social media platform. Follow, subs. I appreciate it. And like I said, thank you for any donations. It really, every dollar helps.
Yep. Joe, we appreciate it, man. Go out there, kick some ass in training. Kick some ass in the I said the ring, in the cage.
I'll kick some ass in the cage, but I get my ass kicked way more in training, so I can give you one of those.
And if we have five people that want to go to the fights, let me know, and maybe I can make that box happen.
I posted about the stage box too.
I know that. I want that so bad, but it's a different area than where I am.
Yep, exactly.
You know how I am.
I feel you.
Anyway, all right, Joe. Well, hey, we appreciate it. Go spend some time with your woman and get rested up because training's hard, buddy.
I will do. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
All right, everybody. That was Joe Skeletor Giannetti. I'm going to say this. We're on the ground floor of Joe. I expect great things from Joe. The only reason I know about Joe is through Matt. And I've started following him since the first time that he was on the show.
Dude, we worked together at Target.
I know. But just get to know Joe.
When you see someone that's, and obviously people know I come from an athletic background. I coach baseball and all that stuff. When you see the passion in somebody, like, and I know Joe's probably going to get a kick out of this because he might still be listening. I have the original purple shirt with the yellow Skeletor logo on the front still somewhere.
That's awesome.
I still have the St. Patrick's Day one I didn't get to wear last year. But we're not going to talk about that.
Well, anyway, all right. So, Matt, we've been going for an hour and 10 minutes. Let's wrap this up.
Yep. So let's wrap up. Like I said, let's all support Joe. I know a lot of people in here already have. Remember, $5-10 via Venmo goes a long way.
Yep.
When Joe finishes that video for what it goes to, I'll post it on the page.
Yep.
I think about this.
He's in the group too, by the way.
Yeah, Joe's in the group. You guys see that. Anybody who asks us any questions for him, just tag him in the post. And if you have a fight questions like that, be prepared. He has a real job, a fiance, and he trains. And he trains in Middleborough, Massachusetts, Bristol, Rhode Island, and Lawrence, Mass. If anybody knows the area, those are not like easy commutes. So
I remember being young once.
Yeah, me too. So,
dude,
if anybody just $5, $10, guys, think about it. You're just not going to McDonald's tomorrow, or you're not having an extra coffee.
I was gonna say you Dunkin'.
My Dunkin'. Like, I mean, don't worry. I'm buying tickets. Like, I get it. Like, even if you go like, oh shoot, I want to watch the card. And I'll be honest. This Cage Titans, I think it's 63, 64. I can't even keep track. The fights that are going to be on this card are going to be the best in New England this year. Hands down.
Really?
Hands down. They got all the big name local fighters. They got Johnny Cupcakes, who Joe mentioned. Johnny's an older guy who's running this situation with Johnny can bang. He's just a fighter and he's a good dude. And he's running into situations where he was hurt a little bit. And he struggles to get guys to fight too. Cause I mean, Johnny will knock your head off. Like
what weight class does he fight at?
Johnny's 145. Don't ask me how. So I'll give a Johnny story. Like, and Johnny and I aren't friends. We're Facebook friends, but like if we walk by each other, you wouldn't have a clue who I am.
Right.
Joe went to fight Paddy Pimblett over in England. Joe missed weight. Johnny pretty much said, "Screw it, I'll fight him."
Oh wow!
And Johnny came in weighing probably 150 and even lighter. He went to corner Joe, and then Joe missed weight, and Paddy kicked and screamed. And Johnny's like, "Dude, I'll just fight you." So
good people.
New England MMA is where it's at. I'll be honest with you. So anybody who has a couple extra dollars, Venmo it over to Joe. If you don't have Venmo and you have PayPal, or I know some people have Zelle, you can send it over to me and I'll send it to Joe and you'll go
Cash
on the
App.
raffle. I don't think I have Cash App. I'm not 12. But yeah.
Ain't still awake? No.
Well, his mom did donate. So that's that. Next week is going to be a show strictly about this upcoming group cruise. When we get off here, I am going to post the picture.
Should we post the Google Doc?
I'm going to post everything in the page tonight.
Okay.
As much as I can that kind of makes sense. I'd appreciate it. Like, don't start a comment thread of just, hey, where's the ship going? Where's it reach out to Dave or Ashley. Obviously,
Dave Adams at travelmation.net.
Yeah, and it's Ashley Foley travels@gmail.com. Give him some time. Like, this is obviously not agency is not brand new to us, but it's
the idea of the cruise.
Everything that we've been playing, just like I said, came almost
less than 24 hours.
Less than 24 hours. So bear with us if we don't get back to you right away. Or if you just need to, if you have a basic question about it and you don't want to go to the people booking, you can come directly to me and I can just kind of keep it simple.
Come on. I'm not going to do the full court press sales pitch.
No. I'm not saying this. If you like, it comes down to, you want to come on the cruise, great. You don't, shame on you. You're going to be missing a great time.
I mean, that's the kind of the way I am too. I mean, we're going to talk about this cruise a lot. We're going to talk about having fun on the cruise. But again, if you want to come on a cruise just to go on a ship, cool. If you want to come on the cruise to hang out with us, cool. If you want to come on if you don't want to come on the cruise, meh, cool. But meh. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, hey,
we'll wave at you from the ship camera.
Yeah. We appreciate y'all for listening and watching and hanging out with us. We will talk to y'all next week where we talk about the Around the Fire Pit podcast cruise. Bye, y'all. We'll talk to y'all next week.
Deuces.